Well, I want to head over to Johannesburg, South Africa, where we're joined by Michael Bociurkiw. He is the Senior Fellow at the Atlantic Council and the founder of the World Briefing Report on Substack. Good to have you with us.
Great to be with you again, Linda.
So, Michael, I understand your family comes from this region of Western Ukraine. What was your reaction when you heard that Ternopil had suffered its deadliest attack of this war, with at least 25 people killed, including children?
Horrible, Linda. You know, this is an area where my mother and father were born. It's an area where millions of Ukrainian diaspora trace their roots. And, you know, I got to say, and it's difficult for me to say this, almost brings a tear to my eyes. I remember just a few days after the start of the Russian full-scale invasion, I was sitting with your former excellent colleague, Michael Holmes, live on set in Lviv. And we had this beautiful Western Ukrainian background behind us, and I reminded him and your viewers that this is where the Ukrainian patriotic heartbeat beats. This is the founding area of Ukrainian nationalism, and it's such a beautiful area. And I said at the time, the Russians will never touch this. We were wrong, and I hate to be wrong, they have. And you know, the Russians would like nothing more than eradicate completely Western Ukraine for those very reasons, that this is really the patriotic place, a lot of historical significance to Ukrainians, and once again, where a lot of diaspora trace their roots.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. I mean, the strike really deep inside Ukraine, far from the front lines. What does this signal to you about the escalation and Russia's strategy here?
Well, it's very, very bad because it reminds everybody, those who stayed behind in Ukraine and those who left, that no inch of Ukraine can be considered safe. And I worry about this, Linda, because those millions of Ukrainians who fled are watching this very carefully, obviously, and this is yet another deterrent for them to return to Ukraine amid a huge manpower shortage in Ukraine. And also, it shows the extent of Russian brutality. According to Ukrainian state-linked media, 26 confirmed dead, that could double, and well over 100 injured. This is the war, as Nick Payton-Walsh pointed out, is not going very well at all for the Ukrainians on the front line, but now also those daily barrages. And of course, on top of all of this, the lack of power and heating. 13 plus hours, Linda, without power, where I'm usually based in Odessa, on a daily basis, with temperatures just around 0 Celsius.
Wow. So certainly not going well on the front lines, but also doesn't seem to be going very well diplomatically. We understand the US is secretly drafting a new plan to end the war, reportedly a 28-point plan without Ukrainian involvement. US officials, of course, are in Ukraine right now. Does it look like Ukraine is being backed into a corner? What's your view?
Oh, absolutely. And without European involvement, I may add. Look, this is a Donald Trump who is acting as if he's a mafia don. He should focus on his area, the Western Hemisphere, Venezuela, whatever. We know this is a president with a short attention span who's can't handle many things at once. And, you know, let Turkey come back into this. Turkey has Mr. Erdogan of Turkey has Mr. Putin, Mr. Zelensky, both of them on speed dial. Turkey is very interested, of course, in Black Sea security. They have enormous investments in Ukraine, and I think they're trusted by many, many different quarters. But for the Americans to come back in here, and Linda, I got to say, this worries me too, because it looks like, if we trust the reporting from Politico and others, that the Americans feel that they have Ukraine backed into a corner for two reasons: not going well on the battlefield, and secondly, this widening corruption scandal. So they're going to push an agreement that's going to be very difficult for the Ukrainians down their throats once again.
Yeah, certainly plenty more to discuss, especially regarding that corruption scandal. But we're running out of time. We'll have to leave it there for now. But Michael Bociurkiw, as always, thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome.